Lagos was a city that never slept. The streets were alive. People rushed by. Market vendors called out their wares. The air was thick with the smell of exhaust fumes and fried plantains. Ada sighs amidst the chaos. Ada walked with a heavy heart. Her steps were slow. Her thin frame carried the weight of worry. Ada was on her way to the pharmacy. Her daughter Amina was sick. A fever had gripped her small body for days. Ada had tried everything. She had given her herbal remedies, she had prayed for her recovery, but Amina's condition only worsened. Ada knew she needed medicine. The pharmacy was crowded. Mothers with sick children waited impatiently. Old men coughed and leaned on their canes. Ada joined the queue. She clutched the crumpled Naira notes in her hand. It was all the money she had left. Would it be enough? Ada's heart ached for Amina. She had already lost her husband to a preventable illness. She could not bear the thought of losing her daughter too. The fear was a knot in her stomach. It made it hard to breathe. Ada silently prayed for a miracle. Mr. Aid, the pharmacist, was a kind man. He listened patiently as Ada explained Amina's symptoms. He prescribed the medicine she needed. Ada's heart leaped with hope. But the hope quickly faded when she learned the price. It was more than she had. Ada as Ada. "Please, sir, my daughter, she's very sick. Can you—" Her words trailed off, choked with shame. Mr. Aid looked at her with pity. Before he could respond, a woman at the back of the queue shouted, "Older woman as older woman. Hurry up! Some of us have places to be." Others grumbled in agreement.
Ada felt a wave of dizziness. The room spun. She swayed on her feet. The worried faces around her blurred. The noise of the pharmacy faded into a dull roar. She reached out, grasping for support, but found none. With a gasp, Ada collapsed onto the cold tile floor. Silence descended upon the pharmacy. The customers who had been so impatient just moments ago stared at Ada's crumpled form. Their faces were etched with shock. No one moved. No one spoke. The only sound was the faint, desperate rasp of Ada's breath.
Mr. Aid rushed to Ada's side. He checked for a pulse. His face grew grim. He looked up at the stunned faces around him. "Someone call an ambulance!" he shouted. But it was too late. Ada was gone. A wave of guilt washed over the pharmacy.
The woman who had urged Ada to hurry up now stood silently, her face pale.
A young man who had been checking his phone looked up, his eyes wide with remorse. They had been so caught up in their own lives that they had failed to see the desperation in Ada's eyes. They had failed to hear the silent plea for help.
Ada's story is a stark reminder of the human cost of indifference. It is a story that plays out every day in every corner of the world. We are so often caught up in our own struggles that we forget the struggles of those around us. We fail to see the pain behind the smiles. We fail to hear the cries for help. But Ada's story also reminds us of the power of compassion. It reminds us that even the smallest act of kindness can make a world of difference. A listening ear, a helping hand, a few kind words. These things may seem small, but they have the power to lift spirits, to restore hope, and to save lives. Let us choose compassion over indifference. Let us choose kindness over apathy. For in the end, our shared humanity is all that truly matters.